My name is Keri Steneck and I'm the Fire Prevention Officer for the Boise District BLM. So we manage the 4 million acres that basically surrounds Boise. Roughly our district goes from Ontario all the way down to like Weiser and that area, down in the Owyhee Mountains and the Oregon border, out to Hammett. So basically everything you can see. And so this year we did something a little bit different. We partnered with DMB to involve them more in Firewise landscaping and try and do what we can do to protect the homes that live along the front. And I think we've all noticed that as Boise grows, we seem to just move further and further into the foothills. And with that comes a certain amount of responsibility, because those homes that are along the Boise front, or really any front, any wildland urban interface, if one of those homes catches on fires, it's like a gateway, and that will bring it into the rest of Boise. So it really is critical that those people that live along the front and border the wildland do what they can to protect their properties. And so, I don't know if some of you guys were around for these fires. This is the Table Rock fire right here and here. That was that big one that we had in downtown Boise last year. This is the home that we lost. If you look over here, this is the home that we didn't lose. So they were 100% Firewise. They had basically Firewise landscaping 365 around their property. And ultimately it saved their home from that fire. So this one up above is the Soda Fire, for those of you that were here several years ago. It's the biggest fire in the nation. Okay, and with that, I'm going to transfer over to Jared, who is our Mitigation and Education Specialist.
Hello, my name is Jared Jablonski. I'm a Fire Mitigation Education Specialist with the Boise District BLM. I've been in wildland fire for 21 years, all here in Boise, so I'm real familiar with the area and with the Great Basin ecosystem. So I'm going to talk to you today about just kind of an overall fire behavior and fire history of our area, and then Brett will come in after me and then dig down deeper into Firewise landscaping specific and the principles behind that. So as you can see here, this is the historical fire locations for BLM fires. More than 300 acres from 1980 to 2012. And as you can see, the Southwest Idaho and the Boise area in general is a real hot spot for fire activity. We average, in our district, we average over 100 fires per summer. And I would say 85 to 89% are human caused fires. So we get a lot of fires here. So that's why it's so important to consider utilizing Firewise landscaping around your homes if you live in that wildland urban interface zone. And this is just zoomed in closer. This hot spot is basically from Glenn's Ferry to Hammett. Any roadway system, you're gonna get a lot of human caused fires, or anywhere there's people, more population, more human caused fires, obviously. And here's some more fires from the area. Keri had talked about, here's the Soda Fire, Table Rock Fire from last summer, the home that burnt down, more Table Rock, and then this was the Oregon Trail Fire, where several homes were burnt down. One life was lost in that fire, and that was definitely one that opened a lot of people's eyes, because a lot of people didn't think that that was an area that was wildland urban interface, because it's more interior, but it doesn't take a whole lot of vegetation, if the conditions are right, to create a wildfire that can burn homes down. And that's definitely a case right there of that. So like Firewise landscaping on that particular fire would have helped out significantly. Some sort of wall or barrier from that hillside would have helped out. Maybe could have possibly saved some of those people's homes. So this is a wildland fire progression map. And this is the Soda Fire from 2015. And it just shows you the first day, the growth, and then the second day of the growth, and so on and so forth. And I have this fire in here, because this slide, because I want to just illustrate how quickly rangeland fires move and how much acreage that they can consume in a pretty short amount of time, really. This is just 24-hour periods, so you're talking tens of thousands of acres potentially, depending on the weather conditions and the winds. So these rangeland fires move fast, and firefighters a lot of times don't have enough time to get out to people's properties, and that's why it's so important to do whatever you can to protect your property through Firewise landscaping and anything else you can do. So this is actually taken from the Soda Fire. That's the highway between Jordan Valley and Marsing, and it's a BLM truck with a person burning out along the roadway system there. And so you can see this is the brush fuel component, and then near the road is the short grass. And this is obviously the flame lengths coming off the brush are very extreme due to the heat that's already built up, plus the brush is not a very Firewise plant, and you're gonna get a lot bigger flame lengths off of it. So you can see just how far these fires are moving, and this is just measurements based on approximately on the width of that particular truck. So you can see it's roughly 7-foot flames coming off of the grass fuel model here, and then where it's coming off the brush over the road, you're looking at around approximately a 30-foot flame length. So super intense flames. So vegetation is huge when it comes to how a fire is going to act and behave. So now we'll just talk a little bit about the basic principles of fire behavior and the fire triangle. So you can see the fire triangle here. There's basically 3 components to create fire. You need oxygen, heat, a heat source, and then the fuel, something to burn. And then so this that's the fire triangle. This is the fire behavior triangle, which is a little different. This is how a fire is going to act and behave. What 3 components affect that? Well, it's mostly the weather, so your winds, your humidity, all those different things. Topography, is it on a slope? Fire moves faster uphill because it's preheating the fuels in front of it and builds up more intensity. It moves slower downhill because it's more backing, and that radiant heat that's coming off is going out more into the air and less into the fuels above it. And then flat fire is more just wind driven and fuel driven. And then the fuel component, so you can see the fuel component is in both legs, and it's really the only thing that can reliably be modified pre-fire. You can do things to the fuels out there to help make a fire less intense. As with these other ones, there's not a whole lot you can do about the weather or the topography. So fuel is a super important component. That's something we can actually make a difference with on our own. So this is something the BLM is doing on a large scale. Your Firewise and your properties is a smaller scale, but BLM is also working on putting in fuel breaks in different areas on a large scale. So this is a roadway that we had done some improvements on after the soda fire. And you can see the first phase was just literally cleaning out the vegetation in the roadway and widening it some. And that provides firefighters better access, as well as a safer, more effective place to try to hold a fire or perform burnout operations. So it's super helpful, and that's what they found from this soda fire, is that particular chunk of land out there. There wasn't very much, it was very difficult to access the fire and very difficult to find areas where we could, with fire moving that fast, where we could try to make a stand and try to stop that fire from progressing. And so this is the plans in the future for creating a fuel break system of roadways out in that particular area of country. The fuel breaks, and this is all ties back into the same principles as the Firewise landscaping. To make it an effective fuel break, you want it, for us out there in the roads, you want it on a landscape level. For your homes, you want it, on a level of your property. Strategic, it doesn't do any good to have a fuel break where it's never going to be utilized or it just doesn't make sense. Timely, you need to have fuel breaks in places where firefighters can use them when they need them. And economical fuel breaks, much like Firewise plants and stuff, you want to make it so it's affordable and you can maintain it and it's realistic. So those definitely things that we look at when we're out there evaluating where we want to put these fuel breaks. What a fuel break is and isn't. Fuel breaks don't stop fires on their own every time. They're intended for firefighters to get out there and be able to use them so they can be safer and have a better chance at stopping a fire. They can't do it all by themselves. Sometimes they do, but a lot of times the weather conditions and different things, it's just not possible for a fuel break to be the be-all, end-all. And that's the same way with Firewise. You can't expect just because you did Firewise landscaping things to your property that it's 100% safe for every wildfire. That's just not the case, but it definitely can make a huge difference between your house burning down and not.
On the fire break roads you're trying to put into the soda area, are you going to try to sterilize the ground also?
Yeah, there's a bunch of different phases. There's road maintenance phases, then there's mowing, like seasonal mowing, that's part of it, and then also spraying for cheatgrass, and then also seeding forage kochia, which it'll be further along in this on our other project, the Paradigm fuel break between Glens Ferry and Boise.